Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Dan Keck Diamonds? Good to see you again.
Yes, brother.
So Monday, almost Tuesday morning, and we're
almost,
both coming off the
almost.
back of a hefty weekend.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah.
Weekend.
I had a couple of nice little gigs. Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. But Sunday one wasn't too long. But yeah, the Friday and Saturday one was nice.
Well,
Yeah.
you
So
checked in with me to see if I can do that, but I was otherwise engaged with my Sunday
you had your one.
afternoon
Yeah. Yeah.
going. Yeah. But as
Yeah.
I was coming at the tube station on my way there, I did catch you going live on Instagram, and I saw you lot off stage, backstage, getting ready to do your
Yeah.
thing with
Yeah.
loads of other bands by the look of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was all right. So
the weekend that was.
the weekend that was, man. Yeah. It would have been great to
The
have done it
hat,
with you. To done it with you.
the
I'm
hat,
checking the hat out, bro.
the hat. You know what that's coming from? This is the residue of the weekend as well. That weekend that was.
Is it? Well,
Basically,
it
my
looks
niece got
traditional.
married. Exactly. Niece got married. We had to get, as you know, you get you buy the cloth,
A
the
full
picture
uniform.
design, and you
Yeah.
get the garment designer to make the thing specific. You don't go to no high street off the rack. It's like
Nah.
there's a color theme, and probably each for the family, and everybody has to like get something made up bespoke within that those guidelines. So yeah, I had a traditional 3/4 sleeve outfit made, just trousers on top, and then with the hat thrown in.
Okay.
Brilliant garment designer who's over in Surrey Keys. She had the thing done in about 3-4 days, so it's a lastminute.com. And yeah, it's a good move. And then this is the residue, which I like to wear hats with my bald head, so that's where that was coming from. And Daniel, I know you know about the West. They had the Western ceremony to begin with, and
Mm,
then it was outside the ceremony, the ring,
yeah.
the pastor, and they had the gospel like keyboard player, drummer playing
Okay.
pads, accompanying the pastor. Quite long, but the weather was
Yeah.
good. And then
Yeah.
when it moved inside for the reception ceremony, 3-course meal. It was the Western version, but they still had the gospel band and some African musicians. And then what happened after the 3-course meal? They cleared it out. Then the second phase of guests, a whole new set of guests came along, cleared out the room for the party side, and they had a band from Nigeria, so it was proper. I got to see some proper culture. The talking drums, full rhythm section, and about four singers. It was so there's a DJ there, but it was more live band right through to the end. Very interesting. Western and traditional, all in one event. Very interesting.
The cultures all mix, and the fact that it it happens, it just happens so easily, because it's the tradition is there, and I love that tradition, and I'm so glad that I'm even connected to that tradition now. Just
Know some things that I'm not even aware of, because the wedding, it just kind of reconnected me to some of what when we was younger I was more surrounded by. But like you said, now it is more connected now even than the past, because in the music and everything overlaps, with
yeah,
the
yeah,
Afrobeat, American Caribbean culture is all falling in with the African culture's all overlapped with the Western culture, and
yeah,
something new's going on for the newer
mhm,
generations. It's like it's normal for them, that mix and
yeah,
blend.
yeah. That's
Very
beautiful, man.
interesting. So the
But
second part, they had African and Caribbean food. Caterers came in. It was like you put two events in one, and they organized the music part like it was a festival, like about
yeah,
5-6 different bands.
yeah,
Very well
yeah.
put together. And
Five or
the
six different
costumes,
bands, actual
five or
five,
six
six
different bands.
different complete acts.
Complete acts, because they shared the same backline once the
Yeah,
stage is set up, same drum, same backline.
yeah,
But what I
yeah.
noticed, there was a changeover of musicians coming and going during the day. And in the
Mhm.
beginning, they had the traditional, the organist accompanies the pastor in the churches, but
Yeah,
he had a drummer with him playing drum pads, so you got the
y-
full kit without the space
yeah,
outside.
yeah,
And then when that finished and everyone was getting drinks and nibbles, walking about, it was in a golf course. Um, they had a saxophone player with his wireless setup, suited and booted, walking about, just playing to backing tracks. It was the way they did it was they thought of keeping music in every stage before we even went inside. Then it
that's
moved
really
over to
good.
the live band.
That's really
I'm
good, man.
telling you.
Did you do your job now and get the names of those different musicians? And no, because you were
Hey,
probably busy.
say that again.
I said, did you do your job and get the names of all those musicians? And the answer is probably no,
No, no,
because you
no,
was
because that
busy.
was all on my. No, no, that was all on my niece and her husband's side. I think he took probably care of a lot of the music side of it because
Yeah.
we got
Oh,
our band and whatnot.
so you could actually get those people anyway. You could get the names
Yes,
of them
yes, I
anyway.
could if I needed to get
You
information.
could
Let me
get
give
it,
you a little
yeah.
taster. This is what we was. This is what was going on.
Yeah.
Band wise. And I'll tell you the bit that I really took me back to some of what I saw when I was younger. Let me
Uh,
find it because you're probably going to recognize this tradition that they do. Yeah, at these parties you see somebody walking around with like money bricks. Yeah, and it ain't like the
yes.
hip hop thing where it's just like flossing. It's like part of the tradition when the bride and groom. They had about 5 costume changes. It
Yeah, you
gets to a
know that,
certain
innit?
stage. Yeah,
And they
listen,
do a dance, and then people will
and they
start
do the
throwing
dance.
money at them.
The money comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and then other cultures do that, like the Greek. I think there's some other
Greek.
cultures that
I
do
think the
too,
Greek and the
isn't it?
Italians do it, but oh yeah, no, no, the
Yeah, yeah.
Tradition
It,
do it big time,
it's stable. Yeah, that's
big
stable.
time.
Look, they even had a guy there, yeah, who
Mm.
his job was to change currency to dollars.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah,
and I remember my mom's 60th birthday, like 20 plus years ago. It was
mm,
one of my cousins had that job. Like he was the currency changer. So
yeah.
they think of all of these things. I'm just gonna give you before we move on a brief.
Mm.
I just want you to see. I didn't even
Yeah,
catch some of that,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
just want to see. I just want to show you the money part before I let this go
They
because I
stick the
know
money
you.
to the bride and the groom's head, man. They just make it fall to
Listen,
the ground.
look on the floor. There was
Yeah.
just money on.
And they have someone to pick up the money and put it into a big bag as well. Yeah. There's it's all organized. Yeah, yeah, that's for them to do because I mean they've got so much expenses, so it's actually a
Yeah,
really thoughtful thing to do
and a lot ahead. So you see that the slowly the ground starts to get carpeted by money.
by
But I
money,
just thought
bro.
it was just so nice to see some of those traditions. You know what I mean? That I ain't
Yeah,
seen for a
man.
long time. But then
Yeah,
what's me calling
it's
it?
beautiful.
Sunday. Damn, yeah, back to work.
Hmm.
So yeah, so the weekend was not an easy one, but that's the life we've both chosen. So
Chosen, yeah,
we have to roll with it. you know.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's this week looking like for you, Daniel?
You know what? I wanted to talk to you about something as well anyway, so we can just still do it right here as well. Because
Uh,
the mere diamonds, I need you to come in with some management skills on that as well.
okay, so
um because I've got about 4 or 5 good people now, so the team's building, right? But me and you haven't had a chance to catch up, so that's going to
yeah,
be happening. I'm going to show you a couple of the things that we're doing, and where we're going to be doing some advertising as well. But
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So that's coming along. That's coming along. But yeah, I mean, the week is looking good. I like to call it the strong. The strong is looking good because
looking strong.
this is the last week before I get 6 whole weeks off. Trust me,
I
from
forgot
school.
because you're a teacher, so yeah, your calendar like moves differently from
So
other people's.
I'm
My
gonna I'm
brother's the
gonna have
same.
I'm gonna have the kind of time available that you've got, but I really need
It
to use it
that's what I was gonna
wisely,
say.
man, because it
It
just
just means
flies.
like you got more time to don't dedicate to your other income streams and other work responsibilities. You know what I mean? The
Absolutely,
outside the
absolutely.
teaching jobs.
Yeah.
So
I've got my 2 boys, and we're gonna actually be playing in a band for Carnival as well. So I'm gonna have to be commuting them down down to Lubbock Grove to rehearse and stuff like that.
You know what I caught? Yeah, I was planning to go to, Julie Dexter's on her tour, yeah, over here on tour. So I was planning to go to
Oh,
one of her London dates, which I couldn't
yeah,
make. And then
yeah,
I caught some of the clips online on the socials, and I remember there was some she had some guest singers on and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I wonder who these artists are. Then I was watching another totally separate video on Instagram, and it was
mm,
like a keyboard player who was singing, drummer, and a guy on bass. And then I
yeah.
realized that's her family. And then I put the faces to
Oh,
the faces, and it was the same singer that was on her gig. So I realized she brought her family on tour and got
okay.
them up as guests. So
Wow.
isn't that interesting?
Keep it in the
Isn't
family,
that
man.
interesting?
Keep it in the
It was
family and
was
cut the costs.
one moment, Daniel. Do you recognize this comment from somebody called Jay? It says, "Jay, I eat too much. Say hi." Is that one of your mates, or is it one of mine's? I'm not sure.
Jay, I eat
Well,
too
hello to
much.
you, Jay. I tend to eat too much too on certain occasions, like wedding receptions. Yeah, well, nice for
Yeah,
you
no, I
to
don't know that one.
tune
I don't
in,
know. I'm not
Jay.
sure I know that person, but yeah, all blessed still. Yeah, well, we're
Mm,
gonna be doing a
mm.
lot more of this, and
That's what I was gonna say. Daily.
yeah, we're gonna do a lot more of this, and the consistency is a thing. We just gotta just keep up because we've got such busy lives, but we definitely have to make it.
Exactly.
It's very important because we've got a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things to
Yeah.
impart on people, especially how the
To
world's
share
changing. The world's changing incredibly,
info to share.
and music. I was just talking with a friend of mine about on a couple of gigs that
Mm.
we had about the music, and what I love is the genres and the fact that I like mixing genres of music together. It's such a great thing when you do it, man. When you do it well. Oh man,
Daniel, just to
yeah.
cut in briefly, because I'm one who's always cutting in and out and breaking people's flow with conversations. But then I land and then and then hand over.
It's
I
all
hand
good.
over
It's
the
all good,
floor.
bro. Let it go.
So
Let it
yeah, it
flow.
is all good. I'm just keeping an eye on these comments, and I just wondering again, do you know a Daniela Mullen? Shout out to you, Daniela Mullen. Thank you for stopping by for even if it's a brief moment. She says, "Hey, what's happening?" Well, what's happening is myself and Dan Keck are just conversing. We're doing what is either a daily um evening check-in where we're going to be checking on one another and finding out what's new and what's good for the day and like what might be coming up. So it's as simple and as basic as that. You're going to
Simple
catch
as
us
that.
here
Simple as that.
maybe sometimes in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. But before
Yep.
the close of every day, you're going to see the both of us in whatever state of or condition we're in, will be in this spot, checking in and keeping an eye on one another and trying to share some knowledge if we can, if there's knowledge to put out there. Oh,
Oh,
speaking
there's
of
plenty.
knowledge, before I pass back on to you, Daniel, I was gonna say I haven't really been for a while. I took a little bit of a pause on YouTube, although every evening, I'm a YouTube hog. I can't help just even if sometimes I get a little bit tired of like the not so cheerful news stories, but
Yeah.
what's going on out there and what is being presented to us is what's being presented. So I haven't done my stroll through the channels yet on YouTube to see what's been going on in the world. I'm sure it's going to be as as it usually is in on some of the future if I've been on YouTube earlier, then I'll kind of share with you some of my opinions and reactions to what I see going on in the news stories because there's a
Mm.
lot of moving things happening in the world.
It's a lot of things happening, man. A lot of things happening.
Yeah.
Um, there's there's the one that I saw, which was two African leaders, and
Okay.
bruv, I think it's I don't want to guess, but I just saw it just recently.
Hmm.
Wait, I wonder. No, I can pull it up actually. I can pull it up.
Okay.
Not on here, but I mean I can get it on
No,
my
no, no.
WhatsApp.
And also doing our reaction and sort of trawl through the news sort of what do we call it, #01 shows where we're going to
Yeah,
pull up some stories and go over them in more depth, in greater depth than we can on this platform. So
hmm
we will be doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. What's this one? I think it's this one. Is it?
Do you want me to look it up on the tablet and then and what's we call it? Sort of see if I can put a bit of it on the screen briefly.
No, no, no. I've got it. I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it here. Oh, but that's not the one though. Hold on. Yeah, I'll just get it up now. Hold on. Be there in a minute.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. No, this is a different one again. No, this one is a bit coarse. No, it's a bit
But I don't
coarse.
want to
No, no,
open up a chasm or rabbit
no,
hole. Did
no,
you
no,
hear
no. We'll
about
leave that
the?
out.
Well, just I'm not going to stick on this. Just like briefly touch and fly. Did you hear about this? I didn't really look into too much because I thought, I know Grandmaster Donald over there in the States is looking to get a Nobel Peace Prize. I just think the strategy is kind of like funny at times and the maneuvering. And there's this thing I heard about. Well, he actually made a statement a couple weeks ago now, about something to do with signing a peace deal between Rwanda and I can't remember, was it one of the Gold Coast countries, maybe Senegal, one of
Yeah.
those warring, someone who's warring with Rwanda. And I was kind
Mm.
of thinking, um, is it something really solid, or is it just part of him wanting to be seen as the peacemaker to gain some casino chips towards getting this Nobel Peace nomination? No,
Yeah.
I didn't really look into it. It
Well,
was a
I mean, like
passing
that.
thing.
I'm not sure what that one is because there's so much going on in
Mm,
Africa right now. But the one I was
mm,
talking about, right, is
mhm.
two leaders. They're actually sitting down next to each other and in front of the press. And one
Yeah.
of the leaders got up and gave the other guy a karate kick in the side of his forehead. I was like,
No,
get lost, bro. It
you're
was,
joking.
I'm talking about a clear, straight side kick in the man's head. They were both
This
sitting
is like
on these kind
this
of
ain't
throne
in the
chairs.
Western world, no.
This is in the Western
This is
world,
not in
bro.
the
This
Western
is
world.
this
This is
is
in
in
Africa.
the Western world. It's
In
there.
the Western
I,
world.
I was doing a bit of scrolling. I tried to keep my scrolling
Oh,
to the
brilliant.
minimum, but
Yeah.
that is exactly that's where I found it. I thought it was one that someone sent me. No, I
Oh my
was like,
goodness.
get lost.
And this
So
ain't
anyway,
no AI cheap fake
no, that was
business.
no,
It's
bro.
real
That was that was
footage
no form of AI. But
captured live and that.
yeah,
That's mad.
yeah, that's
I've
mad.
seen a
But
few punch
we,
ups amongst
we can.
politicians, but karate
The
kick.
guy gave the guy one piece of karate kick on the side of his
Yeah,
forehead, man, side of his
we have to
temple.
find that one
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Sunday.
But
We have to
anyway,
find that one. Put it up.
but the other thing that we talk about is Ibrahim
Mm.
Traore, yeah,
Yeah, the last
and
show we did.
Ibrahim Traore again. All right, Ibrahim Traore is very controversial, very upfront and forward-thinking leader, and what
Yeah.
he's done at the moment is he's got what you call he rules
He's
out.
the young African hope, isn't it? Really,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
the
He's got.
continent.
He says no special religions. He says in Burkina, no special religions in Burkina Faso. Yeah, so no more. So what happened? Yeah,
Hope they don't.
yeah, exactly. So what happens is there's a little thing here with some sound. I'm gonna just play the sound. I'm just gonna play it with the sound. Obviously, you won't be able to see it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, why are you not doing what I want you to do? Yeah. So hold on. Let's do that again. Of course, there's some goony Google. All right, that's better. Right, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
And he has said that long before the
I
Westerners
can
came to
actually just
Africa,
turn my screen around.
Africans were doing their
So
traditional
let me
Yeah.
just do that.
and they were growing and
Just a little, just a little message, just
A
so.
taster. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see it.
Ibrahim Traore has done it again. And let me tell you, this time round, he has done something no African leader has ever done. So if you are in Burkina Faso and you are a Christian, you are not recognized as a special person. If you are a Muslim, you are also not recognized as a special person.
Level playing field.
You are doing the traditional African thing. You are also
That's
not
what they need in
recognized
parts of the
as a
Middle
special
East.
person. There is no special religion in Burkina Faso. This is official.
Good.
The Burkina Faso president has said
Good.
that everybody has a right to worship anything that they want.
Right.
And he has said that
I agree with that.
long before the Westerners came to Africa,
Exactly.
Africans were doing their traditional
Damn.
things.
He's
and
got the
Time.
big
everything
kahunas
is okay.
to
Even by the coming of
pull off
Muslims
those moves.
and the coming of Christians, still the traditional African society was still thriving. So Africans should not be divided on religious terms that this is a
No.
Muslim, this is a Christian, this is a traditional African practitioner, or anything. He has said it is a time for Africans to know that religion has been used
I
to divide
agree.
the Africans, and this is how they have been taking our resources.
Beautiful.
So we
Yeah.
have some
It really is
So you know, I
food
mean
for the ears.
that is to show you how fast things are moving in
Yeah,
Burkina Faso. He's
they're
bought
moving.
he's
Yeah.
bought planes. He's actually got people building planes. He's got agriculture. He's got mining. He's locked down everything, and he's streamlining the country on another level. So listen, watch out for
Wow.
that space because they are
Hope.
smashing it. Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
All they need to do
They're
is
hopeful.
just be careful. And it's unfortunate that every time a leader comes
The
on,
dark powers that be.
yeah,
Yeah.
every time there's a
Because
leader
it's
that
changing the stacked system, isn't it? When a new leader comes and they try to even the playing field slightly, then those who've been for generations in charge of everything and writing the narrative and the scripts,
yeah.
they it makes them, it gets them worried, and sometimes they panic to the point that they wanna, sort of like, you know, bolster the old guard, and they don't want that kind of new way of thinking to stand a chance of growth.
Well,
But I think he's.
that's what I was gonna say. The thing is that like all unfortunately we always come round to the point where we say that anyone who comes out with new type of thinking need to watch themselves because the old guard will come and try and take you out. It's sad to even mention it because we don't want to
Why
put
do we
that
have to
out in the
think like that?
atmosphere. Yeah,
Yeah, but we have to.
but we have to because
It's a shame.
but the great thing is because he's a military leader, he's got his mind should naturally be geared to that anyway. Because when,
Yeah,
for instance, the Russians, well, when the Russians basically invited him, Putin invited him to Russia,
yeah.
for the opening and he invited him for a big ceremony, and he basically
Okay.
sent over a plane called like a bit similar to the Air Force One aircraft that the Americans have, and he also sent it accompanied with two Russian fighter
Yeah.
planes.
Fighters.
So you know they were fully protected
Yeah,
because
in case somebody wanted to shoot him out the sky.
well, the somebody would have been France. Let's keep it real.
France. Okay.
The somebody would have been
Best of
France
interests.
because
Yeah.
France has had a agreement, you know, over many years to literally just take whatever they want out of the country and
So it's
and
high
and
stakes for them.
and give nothing back, you know. And
Yes.
so
High
now
stakes
they're
game.
actually locking down on the other countries like Niger and those other countries that they've been doing the same thing to for a number of years, because trust me, France's economy is gonna just disappear to nothing, and they can
So
see it
they'll
happening before their eyes. So
they stand
yeah,
a lot to lose.
yeah, because they've got the what? Because you
Economic.
know they divided up
Yeah.
Africa. France, Germany, Belgium, England, America. Yeah, they all divided up Africa without Africa even
Denmark.
knowing.
Denmark
Denmark as well,
had
yeah,
some
definitely.
stakes. Spain, Portugal.
Yeah, right. Because
I'm not sure about Norway and those other countries.
yeah, it's
Switzerland,
crazy.
Sweden. I guess they do the banking, so they get their
They g-
commissions from all these
they get it
transactions
anyway.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, brother. So yeah, man. You know, I just thought I'd just touch on that because we do tend
It's
to
worth
touch on that.
mentioning. That's
That was worth mentioning.
fruitful to the ears.
Mm.
Think so. Daniel, listen, I know we're kind of like a little past your bedtime because you're a very organized dude, and you know what I mean, you pile a lot into the day,
Yeah.
and my schedule's slightly more random, but you're a man who has many
My
responsibilities on your
God.
shoulders, which is always positive. I always,
But but
take
you're
off
the
my hat to you for
organizer.
that.
You're the organizer, and
Yeah.
give thanks and praises. You know that we're if it's not for you, this wouldn't be happening. So you know, I then
Well,
pass it
you know what I
also
mean?
back to you, pass the gauntlet back to you, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Blessed and love, brother.
it's like
And we've got to link up for
oh,
some work soon because we've got to
yes,
do some live some performances, bro. Some and document those as
things
well
to discuss,
to let
things to
people see what
discuss.
what we really do.
Exactly, exactly. We need to like with our one show, we need to probably format it where we of it
It's 12
of
o'clock.
the show where we can do some live performance, even if we like do it as an outro to the show, so
Yeah,
people can kind of like get a little bit of our musicianship and our create, see a bit of the creative side of
creativity.
what
Yeah,
we do for a lot of the day, the
yeah.
non-social media, the non, side of our contribution out there in the world.
You know what you should do? You know that recording that we did
Mm.
with just me and you, and we were playing that composition of mine, the
Your song,
the blues one.
yeah, your original song,
Yeah, but
yeah.
speed it up. Just speed. We ain't got time to record it again right now.
Okay.
Just speed it up, right? And then you can just drop that on there. Yeah, you can just put that on there. That's a nice little thing to
I
show.
can
To
do
show.
that.
Maybe
I
just the
can drop it
sound.
on the can drop it on the next show. I can definitely drop it on the next hashtag 01 show that we do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
yeah,
can
yeah,
drop it
yeah.
as an outro or intro theme. What was it called again? What's the title?
Two songs blues.
Toussaint's Blues, isn't it?
Yeah, two song blues.
Two.
Yeah.
How do you spell Toussaint? T.
In relation to John Tucson,
Yeah.
in yeah,
T.
T O
T. What's the
U
next? T-O-U.
S
Two.
Saint,
To say, to
SAINT.
say. Let me see if I can. Let me put in Daniel Louis. See what I saved it under, because I might be able
We
to
recorded it in
locate
your
it.
studio when you had it up
So
near
let me look
Liverpool,
under
London
studio. Let me
Bridge.
look on. I found it. I looked under studio and it came up straight away.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, this is the one.
yeah, because we practiced it slow, but you can just speed
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up.
because we're just running the parts. So yeah,
Yeah,
what I'll do, I'll run that through something where I can speed it up a little bit, and then I have that ready for the next time we meet up.
you know
Yeah,
what you
we'll
could do,
we'll, we'll
bro.
start with the music.
You know what you could
Mm.
do, bro? You could drop a flipping hip hop beat behind that stuff, yeah, or something like that. You know what I
Drop
mean?
a
That's
beat
if you
behind
got the
that.
time.
I can pull
Yeah,
out some edits. I
yeah.
can pull out
Drop a
some
hip
edits.
hop beat behind
This
that.
stuff is doable. You know what I mean? Trust me, this stuff is doable. I'll even give you like a little rough cut, like demo, the type of thing we can do hang
Run
about
it,
in the
brother. Run it,
flows.
run it, run it. You got me awake
So,
now, but I need to be to sleep. I've got part. You're passing my beddy buy's
yeah,
time here
that's
right
what I
now.
was gonna say. It's time to head out. Time to head out. Before you do that, I want to just do one quick setting, right? Let me put the bar lines there, put that there. All right, let me run that back and then run this to you. It's going to be something like this. Oh, I forgot to put it on repeat.
Yeah, yeah. Spur of the moment thing, man. Proper. Yeah.
And if
And what's to come?
and what's to come. So for now, with myself, only Adier, CornerSpeak, as I usually say, be good, be safe, be creative. I'm relieving myself, so I'll say I'm out and hand over to Master Daniel Louis from aka Mid Diamonds.
Yeah, just be safe and be and definitely be precious. And I forgot my phrase. I forgot what phrase I say, but
I
it's all
can't
right.
remember it either.
We're all blessed. It's all good.
But
Yeah, just
I remember the gesture. What was it? Was
right
it something like
knowledge.
that? I can't
Right
even remember.
knowledge.
Was it something like that or something like something you did last time? It was something that looked a little like
Right
that.
knowledge, right wisdom, and right overstanding. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. Anyway. All right.
Catch up with you tomorrow at some
Yeah,
point.
man.
Daniel,
Blessed.
have a good
Blessed
start
and
to the
love.
day.
Peace and love.
People,
Blessed.
thanks for checking in.